Hey, I just wanted to share. I've had so many people reach out and ask me over and over and over again how it is that I can be strong enough to keep being really vulnerable and sharing aspects of myself and my story. And I do it simply to inspire others. I do it to simply let people know that there is a place of worthiness and deservingness and enoughness that can be reached. You can turn trauma into triumph, and you can totally transform your life and meet those inner places inside that you may have been running away from for your whole life. And whether that's on an unconscious level or a conscious level. And I wish for everyone to feel empowered by their wholeness, like with no part of you ever being left behind. Like your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, and your spiritual body are all part of you. And meeting all those different parts of you and learning how to stop, to listen to the language of each of those parts of you, to form a relationship with each one of those parts of you, and to keep learning and growing and developing. Like in any relationship, there's challenges, there's obstacles, there's new growth pathways. Oftentimes it feels clunky, it doesn't feel easy. The more you know, and the more you lift the veil, and the more you lift the veil in your inner world as well as your external world, the more your world expands, and there's more space for creativity and curiosity. And creativity and curiosity often involve so-called failure. Like that's how we grow, and that's part of our learning process, and that's part of our growth process. And I spent so much of my life trying to control all aspects of how I felt like the outside world perceived me, because my perception of myself was so distorted and so broken. I thought that I was so broken. I thought that I was so unlovable, so unworthy, so undeserving, so not enough. And it took me, honestly, most of my life to come to a point where I felt safe enough to stop inside my own body, and to stop running away from myself and my emotions and the sensations in my body, and to stop running away from processing deep, deep, deep grief. And grief is often hidden by, numbing addictions, and busyness, overdoing, or collapse, like completely ignoring it, complete apathy. I can't do this, I'm just going to put the doona on over my eyes. And it's also hidden by other emotions like anger and frustration and resentment. And it can take a little bit of uncovering, unveiling that inner world, that inner landscape, and building a relationship, not just with your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, and your spiritual body. And that relationship journey is like any relationship journey. It takes allowances and compromise from both sides as you learn each other's language, as you lean into each other, as you recognize that there's going to be hurdles and obstacles and challenges that are ready to be surmounted, and that you can rely on each other for support and connection. And oftentimes, like I spent my whole life running away from my body. I had nearly 25 years of an addiction story that crossed, many different aspects of different addiction cycles. And in that running away, what my body had learned, that it couldn't trust me fully, that I might say that I was going to stop and rest, and I never did. And I dragged my body around. I often only had about 25 hours sleep a week, and I was so busy, in every moment of my day. I just did not ever stop. And my body did that for, from when I was really 13 to when I was just after 40, like that was a huge length of time, where even though over the previous 10 years, like from 30 to 40, I had built lots of healing practices. I started diving into things like acuenergetics and acupressure and Reiki. And then I moved into understanding more about the human body and physiology. I came from a skin therapy background. I did beauty therapy first. I looked after people from skin to within, from, top to toe sort of deal. And I had all sorts of practices that helped me along with that, like deep tissue massage, fascia release, lymphatic massage. I knew how to nurture a body. I had all sorts of fitness training. I'd played high level sport and trained with high level coaches, and I understood how to move my body. I had started in my 30s yoga training, and I had done sound bowl work, and I dived into Reiki training and Qigong teacher training. I've even done yoga teacher training. I have done so many different courses in an effort to understand myself. And after my naturopathic degree, obviously my physiology, human anatomy, biology training was very strong at that point. What it also led me to realize is that my psychology was just driving so much of what I do and had done. And I've also done neuro-linguistic programming training to help me unpack more about the mind and psychology. And I've done courses in neuroscience and the biology of trauma and understanding neurotransmitters. Like, I've tried so hard to understand myself, my behaviors, my actions, and therefore how I could apply that knowledge to help others. That is literally my obsession in life. And so it really wasn't until I learned how to listen to my nervous system. So as I mentioned, at the beginning, it was my perception of myself. I literally felt like I was a threat to myself. I felt like I was a threat to the world. I felt like the world, if it truly knew me, was a threat to my safety. Like, if it could see into my shadows, if it could see into all my dark places, all the places where I hated myself, hated my body, hated my mind, hated my being. And so it took me some time to develop and learn from great masters the practices that it takes to sit with my neuroception, my nervous system perception of myself, my inner world, like literally my inner physiology, like my heartbeat, my breath rate, how I'm sitting in the skin that I'm in, how I'm being in the skin that I'm in, as well as how that connects to my external world and how I was viewing and interacting with both consciously and unconsciously in my external world. And marrying those two together, as well as my knowledge of all these different holistic principles, like these 4 aspects of self that I teach about: the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, no part of you left behind, the wholeness of you, that I really started to deeply change and transform my life in a way that was unavailable to me before. And I thought that I was doing it. I thought that I was walking the walk, talking the talk, on the outside, on paper, it truly did look that way and appear that way. And I wanted it to appear that way to other people. And the fact that I still needed other people's validation or approval, or that I was striving, that I was still doing in the hope for, I don't know, some sort of recognition or applause or certification or award winning or whatever. And I have achieved all of that. And yet there was still that part of me that didn't feel like it could come truly home. And so I've spent time finding how to come home and how to come home into my body. And it's not just about meditating. Like, that's how I began. And in fact, I struggled so hard with that. I did so much yoga, and I did meditation classes, and, as I said, sound healing and all sorts of healing. I've just done so much stuff. And I just struggled being still. And it wasn't until I learned somatic experiencing that I was able to be actually really fully still in a room, because I had the tools then to understand what my nervous system was looking for and how to settle that down. Just awareness and alertness, and how to help my nervous system move from a place of hyper doing all over myself into a place of connection and curiosity. So not from a point of control, have to, must to, should, order, like, gotta do this, to a place of like, oh wow, this feels really good. I feel really aligned. I feel really connected. I feel really inspired. I feel really motivated. I have my internal energetic life force. I'm not drawing it up from a place of caffeine or I don't drink anymore, but I used to get it from like alcohol or drugs, into a place of, I've got this energy coming from the wellspring inside of me, and I want to connect with others, and I can finally reach out to others for support and help, which I never could do before. I felt so alone and validated in that aloneness because I couldn't ask for support. I couldn't receive support. It seemed impossible to me. I was so independent. I was so strong. I was such a leader. So it's helped all of these practices of learning my neuroception, learning about my nervous system's perception of where I am in my body, how I feel in my body, how my body feels within its own breath and its own heartbeat, and how that translates to the rhythm of feeling safe in my outside world. And so it has been a huge process. I've moved from, like this high level sports arena, this high partying arena, high work output, like I was a manager and then a business owner, and I've looked after so many bodies, like literally so many people, their heart and their skin and their body, and into a realm where I can support people, and I want to support people, and I want to share from this place of thriving and inner vitality and inner connectedness that truly makes so much sense. When this information was finally revealed to me, or when I finally found the teachers that helped reveal this to me, I was just like, oh, wow. Instead of running, I can actually sit and be with myself, and I've learned some tactics, I've learned some resources, I've learned some hacks into how to befriend my nervous system, in how to anchor into a place of safety and wellness and awareness where I can actually have choice that's available to me. I'm not reacting over and over and over again. I'm not like a ship out on the water that's being buffeted by the wind and buffeted by the seas and just taken in any direction by the currents of life. I actually can recognize where I need to put down anchor, where I need to bring in the sail or put out the sail. I am the captain of my own ship in a way that is empowering and is directional. And even though you can constantly be making the map of your life, once you've created an X marks the spot, it is completely up to you as a sovereign being whether you go on a straight line on that journey, or you go in squiggles, or you go in a roundabout and then you hit the X. That is the journey of life. But it's also what I have learned, instead of just looking at the outcome, is that the process of living, the process of knowing myself, the process of creating this internal relationship that does create my external world has changed and shifted everything. And I hope that this inspires you to start looking for that information that helps you create that shift, where you can be the captain of your own ship, where you can embrace your wholeness and all those dark places inside that felt like they were completely unreachable and not even worthy of illuminating. I promise that they are, and I promise that within those places is your greatest strength, is your greatest courage, is your greatest truth in terms of moving forward. And it does de-armor and de-wall your heart in a way where you can actually finally listen to the prayer of your own heart. Like, what message is your soul sending through your body for you to live your most fulfilled, happy, directional life in a way that makes you shine, that helps you shine. And it is your light that will change the world. You are a gift, and all the medicine that comes along the hardships of the journey, that's the medicine that you get to share with other people. I've got a lot of medicine from my journey. I've walked many different paths. I feel like I've lived a million lives in this one particular linear journey that I'm aware of, in this consciousness in my mind currently. And in this journey, I have picked up lots of different medicine bottles. And when I meet someone else and they're looking for some medicine, I can be like, oh yeah, I can give you this bottle, or perhaps there's a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of that, and I can share it with you. And that little dose of medicine can get you into a place of vitality where then you can go on to your next part of the journey. And you have that same offering and gift to others. The medicine of your journey is unique, and the way that you get to connect with other people is unique. The way that you build your tribe is unique. It is your uniqueness that makes this world so special. And it is when we fully, truly own and can live in our uniqueness, and that ability to trust and surrender sometimes when the path isn't clear, when you feel like you're kind of muddling through and you feel like you might be a little bit rudderless. knowing that it's not just you as well, that there is your soul that's looking after you. There is, you know, if you believe in them, your spirit guides, your ancestors, you know, angels, whatever multidimensional beings that or frequencies or energies of source that are also available to us. And you are a fractal of source energy, and you are source light, and you are source love. And from my heart to yours, good luck on this journey. All my best wishes, and may it be full of the ease, flow, and grace that you truly deserve and that you truly desire. And may you be the light that you truly are, and walk your authentic truth and your authentic expression. I can't wait to meet you.